Reflections Paint and Auto Body Shop, located in Waller, Texas, is ready to restore the beauty of your automobile. Whether it's a small dent or a major accident, if your vehicle needs auto body repair, check out Reflections Paint and Body Shop. All repairs are completed by highly skilled and trained professionals. They are located at 2910 Waller Street in Waller, Texas. And just in case you can't get it into them, they provide towing services. Call them today, 936-931-5780. That number again, 936-931-5780. It's the radio guy, Mike Prince. Welcome to another episode of the Mike Prince Show here on the Open Mic Broadcast Network. The social media handle for Twitter is at the Mike Prince Show. The YouTube channel, Open Mic Broadcast Network. Our website, obnradio.com, and the 24-hour dial-in message line, 713-570-6736. And without any further delay, we're going to jump right into today's episode. It is Football Friday, and man, have we got a lot of football to discuss on today. But before we go off into the world of the Southwestern Athletic Conference and the Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference, we want to let it be officially known for Waller County and the surrounding areas that the Hempstead Bobcats have hired a new football coach. He goes by the name of Mr. Donovan King, came from Cold Springs Independent School District. He was defensive coordinator there. He will be taking on the new head coaching duties at Hempstead, representing the Bobcats. So we do welcome you to Waller County, and hopefully we'll have you on real soon. So much to discuss on today, so many moving parts. I don't even know where to begin. Let's start with this. We're going to hear from Mr. Rob Butler and his Southland report, followed behind B.J. Jones and his top 5 signing class for the Southwestern Athletic Conference. You're listening to the Mike Prince Show here at the Open Mic Broadcast Network, and guess what? It's Football Friday.
This is Rob Butler with your Southland Conference Spring Preview. The Sam Houston State Bearcats seek a return to the FCS playoffs following 7 straight NCAA trips from 2011 to 2017 that began with 2 title game appearances. One that will not make it this spring is McNeese. They're playoff ineligible for academic reasons. The Cowboys have their 3rd head coach in 3 seasons with Frank Wilson at the helm. Lamar has a new boss too, but there will be some growing pains this spring with 40 true freshmen. Cardinal fans should be patient but optimistic. Blaine Morgan and staff put together one of the top recruiting classes in FCS this year. Now let's talk about Incarnate Word. Head coach Eric Morris has been at the helm of the Cardinals for the last 2 seasons. He's won 11 games, and that's the best 2-year stretch in Incarnate Word's 11-year history. On to Lamar. Blaine Morgan, previously the quarterback coach at San Diego State, replaces Mike Schultz, who was fired after the Cardinals' disappointing 4-8 season that ended in last place in the Southland Conference standings. Lamar will be Morgan's first head coaching job. On to McNeese. After losing former head coach Sterling Gilbert to Syracuse, those in charge of McNeese worked quickly and got a bargain, hiring former UTSA head coach Frank Wilson. On to Nichols. Nichols State University head coach Tim Rabot leads a program which has won 2 straight SLC titles. Ex-LSU redshirt quarterback Lindsey Scott Jr. is the leading candidate to replace Chase Forcade. On to Northwestern State, the Demons went 3-9 in 2019, which was tied for 8th in the conference. The 2019 Northwestern State Demons produced a record-breaking quarterback and a pair of stellar wide receivers. All 3 graduated, so head coach Brad Laird is looking to fill holes on offense. On to Sam Houston State, head coach Casey Keeler is excited about his offense this spring, especially with Eric Schmidt returning at quarterback for the Bearcats. In Southeastern Louisiana extended Southland Coach of the Year Frank Selfo through 2024. 6'7" quarterback Cole Kelly and ex-Arkansas quarterback returns, as do receivers C.J. Turner and Austin Mitchell. Now, how do I think it's all going to go down? Well, here's my predictions. I think Sam Houston State wins this conference. 2nd is Nichols. 3rd, McNeese. 4th, Southeastern Louisiana. 5th, Incarnate Word. 6th, Northwestern State. And 7th, Lamar. And that's Rob Butler, Open Mic Broadcast Network.
Hey, it's BJ Jones checking in. We just got done wrapping up recruiting in the Southwestern Athletic Conference. Number one, right there in Jackson, Mississippi, you have the Jackson State Tigers. Number one class in all of HBCU football, number one class in all of FCS. We're talking about multiple four-star signees, a top 80 class in FBS. Shout out to Coach Prime and the Tigers of Jackson State. At number two, I have the Grambling State Tigers. Tigers of Grambling State came in big quarterback prospect out of New York, the New York Player of the Year, quarterback prospect. They cleaned up where they needed to. Number three, I have the Bulldogs of Alabama A&M. The work that they did, bringing in two star quarterbacks, linebacker transfer from the University of Michigan, and a big-time receiver out of Hoover High School down in the Birmingham area. At number four, I have the Jaguars of Southern. The work that they did, picking up two big offensive line prospects out of the state of Louisiana, two guys that competed for state titles. I like what they did there. And then in the 5 spot, got to look at what old Alcorn did. The running backs they brought in, the JUCO players they brought in, they got the perfect mix. The Braves, two-time defending SWAC champions, showing that they can still get it done with prime in state. That's BJ Jones, and that's my time. That's top 5 recruiting classes out of Southwestern Athletic Conference.
And welcome back to the Mike Prince Show. Of course, the social media feed for Twitter is at the Mike Prince Show. And be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, the Open Mic Broadcast Network, where you heard BJ Jones give off his top 5 signing class for the Southwestern Athletic Conference for 2021. Jackson State, Grambling, Alabama A&M, Southern University, and Alcorn State. Now, of course, Alcorn State has been the hotbed topic for the past week or so. It was made official this week that the Braves would not be participating in spring football for 2021. And for some, they were okay with that. However, in that same announcement, they indicated that they would have spring practices, which is what triggered some, let's say, controversial response.
If they opt out because of COVID, they shouldn't be meeting, they shouldn't be lifting weights, and they shouldn't be practicing. They shouldn't have no spring ball if they opt out because of COVID, because if you do, you're contradicting yourself, okay? Because you're still putting your kids at risk of getting COVID because they're practicing, they right in each other's face. So if that's their reason, then they shouldn't be doing any of those things. If they're looking out for their players, they should continue to look out for their players and don't do anything. Because if they're going to do that, they're going to lift weights and they're going to practice, they might as well play.
Now that, of course, was Coach Connell Maynard of the Alabama A&M Bulldogs. The Braves were scheduled to face off against the Bulldogs to start off spring 21 football. Some pretty strong comments, and I might add comments I would have to agree with on behalf of Coach Maynard. Do you agree with the comments that Coach Maynard said? That they shouldn't be practicing, they shouldn't be doing anything that's going to put them in quote-unquote harm's way. Very interesting to see if this has turned up the heat just a tad bit whenever these two programs meet again. Do you agree with BJ's top 5 signing class? Love to hear your insights and opinions on what you think on the message line, 713-570-6736.
Brazos Valley Schools Credit Union is offering 5 $2,000 scholarships to graduating high school seniors who are members of the credit union. The deadline to submit the application is Friday, February 26th, so don't wait to apply. To review eligibility requirements and download the scholarship application, please visit their website at www.bvscu.org and click on the BVSC University tab.
The woes continue from the MEAC. Teams have exited the conference. They had the spring football all set and ready to go. Norfolk State opts out triggered some domino effects, and it was announced just as late as this week that there will be no spring football. And I'm not one to dogpile on the rabbit, but the MEAC is in a serious situation. Not necessarily as far as spring football goes, because if the truth be told, there probably going to be some more suspensions, cancellations, postponements, whichever word you'd like to use to fill in that blank. But the future of the MEAC would have one a bit concerned, especially when it comes to the joint ventures that the MEAC and the Southwestern Athletic Conference have. The MEAC SWAC Challenge, the Celebration Bowl. And I know it could seem a bit premature, but you have to look at what is laid out before you and start counting up the costs and figuring out what is and what's not. We have a very serious concern with the number of members that make up the MEAC as we know it right now, the short-term and long-term goals of the conference, and its existence, at least from the football side of things, when it comes to competition. Basketball, very strong. In fact, I would have to give a slight nod to the advantage of the MEAC as far as their basketball tournament in comparison to that of the SWAC. But that's a whole nother conversation for another day. With what is appearing to be the future of MEAC football, is it time for ESPN to start looking at potential other options when it comes to the football side of things? Here's what I'm saying. The best move that the Southwestern Athletic Conference could have ever established was having the SWAC championship game. Because the SWAC championship game builds up enough interest and, I might add, generates enough funding to make it worth its while. And with the struggles that the MEAC are facing right now, do you continue to have your MEAC SWAC Challenge and the Celebration Bowl in the partnership with ESPN, or do you open up the potential opponent pool by removing the MEAC SWAC Challenge, giving it another title? Celebration Bowl could still be the same. Now, instead of having a MEAC guaranteed opponent, perhaps an at-large opponent to take on the SWAC champion. And it could be from the likes of an HBCU qualified opponent, such as a North Carolina A&T, Hampton, or Tennessee State. And here's a twist a little bit further to look into. Do you potentially set up a bowl game that could still be the Celebration Bowl to take place between the SWAC champion and the Ivy League champion? It has been duly noted that the Ivy League would love an opportunity to play the HBCU champion in a bowl game. Would put a twist on things and, might I add, might even draw a bit more interest. Now, before you go saying, oh, no, that will never happen, if you're an ESPN executive, this could be the brewing of a perfect storm. Neither conference participates in the FCS playoffs, so the availability and the flexibility is there. And it would be something that would be worth the ESPN executives to at least kick the tires on. Now, of course, the logistics of where this game would be played would have to be worked out, somewhere centrally located between the regions of the Ivy League and the SWAC territory. But that's just minor logistics. I think it would be some must-see TV. It's not going to strike everybody's chord, but it would strike enough chords for people to tune in. So let me set the record straight. I'm not saying omit completely the MEAC champion But with the availability of opponents that has lessened, and to keep the interest of the Celebration Bowl moving forward, do you open it up to an at-large opponent versus being strictly a MEAC opponent? Something to consider, because what we must maintain and remember, this is a business, and the business will continue to move forward with or without you. Let us know what you think. 713-570-6736. As I told you, it is so much to cover on today. Basketball tournaments are beginning to formulate calculations, and abbreviations of who will and who won't make it are starting to surface. Of course, it has been announced that the SWAC basketball tournament will be one location, Birmingham, Alabama. The question now is, will the games get off the ground? COVID-19 still has a grip on all decisions to be made in the very near future. Spring football schedules have been released for the ESPN platform. We'll dig a little deeper into that on our Sunday night edition of the Mike Prince Show. Right now, I am going to exit stage left. Before I get out of here, I want to give a congratulations to Drew Pearson, finally being accepted into the Football Hall of Fame. I think it was long overdue. And in that same breath, I think it's long overdue that Otis Taylor gets inducted into the Hall of Fame. PV Nation, HBCU Nation, if there was ever a time for us to come together, should be the time for a rallying cry that we do whatever we can while we can to ensure that Otis Taylor, a Prairie View A&M University graduate, a very successful NFL career, gets inducted into the Hall of Fame. My time is far spent on today. Thank you guys so much for joining in with us. Thanks for our sponsors to help make these episodes possible for your listening pleasure. The Open Mic Broadcast Network would like to take this time to recognize its sponsors and underwriters: Attorney Lee Van Richardson, Brazos Valley Schools Credit Union, Prairie View Athletic Club, Temple of Refuge Ministries, Reflections Paint and Body Shop, Helping Hands Lawn Service, Diva Skin Conditioner, Purple Drip Daiquiri and Grill. For more information on how you can become an underwriter or a sponsor here at the Open Mic Broadcast Network, our number to call is 832-213-8824. Serving the community through faith and athletics. The Open Mic Broadcast Network, Prairie View, Texas. Don't forget, follow me on Twitter at The Mike Prince Show. The YouTube channel, we need you to subscribe to that today. The Open Mic Broadcast Network. Visit the website. Help support the cause by making a donation. obnradio.com. I've got to go. I am the radio guy, Dr. Mike Prince, and as always, you guys be blessed, and we'll see you on the other side.